A state of emergency has been declared. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday in the video. We were saying what happens next when there's no funding for law enforcement, when there's no funding for the National Guard. What comes next, and how catastrophic would that be for the United States? And we're heading towards that, right? Our currency is becoming worthless. It's all printed from debt, all right? And this is happening right now. This is crazy that we were talking about this yesterday, and then today a state of emergency has been declared in West Virginia. All right, so the West Virginia governor has declared a state of emergency over jail staffing shortages, and they don't have enough money to pay people, to hire new people to get staff in for the jails. All right, this is very serious. This is a coming of what's coming next. And he has called out the National Guard, all right, to man these prisons. So I don't know if this is a violation of posse comitatus, where the military and National Guard are not really supposed to coordinate and work together, because the National Guard technically is under the Army. So I don't know if this is a violation or not to have National Guard troops inside of a jail and acting as prison guards, essentially, for a jail for lots of jails in West Virginia. This is really getting dangerous, and it's just showing that everything is going to be federalized. Everything is going to be collapsed so it can be moved into this bigger system, this federalized system. We just saw what happened a few days ago with the FBI, all right? This is getting nuts. And we also saw a couple months ago, it was in Michigan, all right? They were warning, a police chief was warning that they are not going to respond to calls, all right? They are not going to respond to calls because they do not have enough money for gas due to inflation and gas price increases to respond to police calls, all right? This is what we're heading towards, because they have yearly budgets, quarterly budgets, and if they are only, given a certain amount of money, that's it for the quarter or for the year, and they can't just magically make money appear, so they have to ration things. They have to ration gas and ration their calls. And now there's not enough money to pay prison guards in West Virginia. This is very serious, and nobody wants to be a prison guard either. All right, this person was saying that they were a deputy sheriff for several years in West Virginia, and they did not earn enough money to make a decent living. So they were saying that taxes were so high, their utilities were so high, that it just wasn't enough to pay the bills. So it wasn't worth it, and they got out of it. This person's also saying there's an 8,000 staffing shortage, 8,000 person staffing shortage in Texas for correctional officers. 8,000 people. That's a lot. So we could see a similar situation in Texas as well. And we were talking about yesterday how gangs and cartels could get out of control. Look at Mexico, it's out of control. Also look at Haiti. Okay, Haiti is collapsing right now. Haiti is having 30% inflation, and the gangs are just taking over whole cities. All right, they're saying that 3/4 of whole cities are just taken over. Some cities are completely taken over by gangs. And they were also saying that the biggest business in Haiti is essentially kidnapping people and selling them and getting extortion, getting money from other people. So this is very serious. This is only getting closer and closer to us. And they have 30% inflation. Their president was assassinated. They had crisis after crisis, and it led to these gangs taking over. And the governments also weren't able to fund, the police. That's how it is. The police are just so outmanned in Mexico and these other countries that the cartels kind of just take over. The cartels are like paramilitary units. Okay, they're not official, but it's like paramilitary versus police. They just don't have a chance. So this could come here too, especially if we can't fund our National Guard. We can't fund our police. I mean, yeah, we could send the National Guard in there, but what happens when we can't fund the National Guard? All right, this is looking very bad. This is just heading towards a very slippery slope of inflation just catching up with us in every single direction. All right, and especially when it comes to national security and our military and being able to fund it and buy weapons and pay our people. This is huge. This is a huge national security threat. And as we're having massive inflation, massive price increases, shortages, all these different things, we're also having less police, defunding of police. Nobody wants to be a law enforcement officer because it's just, people look down on it right now. And all these different things are adding up at the same time. What happens if there is civil unrest? What happens if people do start getting more desperate and start committing more crimes? Because, the economy's tanking. We are officially in a recession, 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. So people are going to start acting out. People are going to be desperate. There's going to be more property crime. There's going to be more thefts. Okay, there's going to be more looting and riots. There's been inflation riots all over the world right now. All over the world. Panama, Argentina are having massive inflation riots. Haiti, 30% inflation. We're not far off these numbers. I believe last month was like an 11% inflation on certain things. All right, I think it was on food, and it was like 9 point something overall, but it was 11% just on food, I think. So this is what we're heading towards. All right, this is what we're heading towards. And what happens when people start getting out of control here, and then law enforcement's not even able to respond because they don't have enough money. And also go see what this National Guard troop has to say. All right, the stories that he has to say are insane. It's hard to believe that this is what our National Guardsmen are going through. They're being traumatized, all right? They're being openly traumatized, and it's kind of just like nobody's talking about it. So go check that out from yesterday. Also check out Savanah Hernandez. Check out her interview on that. That's an amazing interview as well. And thank you guys for watching all the way till the end here. You guys have a big old blessed day. Thank you guys.